What if I told you that in a small town near Srikakulam stands one of the India's oldest surviving sun temples? A temple where the sun himself is worshipped as the presiding deity, where sunlight travels through multiple gateways to touch the Lord, and where mythology, astronomy, architecture, and devotion come together in a fascinating way. This is Arasavilli, located just a kilometer from Srikakulam on the banks of sacred Nagavali river along India's historic Coromandel coast. Interestingly, the place was originally called Harshavalli, the abode of happiness, a name said to have originated from the joy and relief experienced by the devotees blessed by Suryanarayana Swami, which gradually evolved into Arsavalli. So come with us as we travel to Arsavalli and uncover the legends, history, mysteries, and divine beauty of this extraordinary sun temple. At 6 in the morning, we left Visakhapatnam and joined NH16 heading towards Srikakulam. As the city slowly woke up, the highway led us through Anandapuram, Bhogapuram, Chilakapalam and a landscape painted with green fields, sleepy villages and golden rays peeking over the horizon. After about 2.5 hours on the road, we finally arrived in Srikakulam. But before reaching Arsavalli, there was another ancient temple waiting for us. A temple without which the story of Arsavalli can never be truly understood. Most visitors who come to Arsavalli head straight for the Sun Temple, but we had to make a stop first. Nestled on the banks of Nagavali river stands the ancient Sri Umarudra Koteshwara Swami temple, a serene temple that quietly holds an important place in the story of Arsavalli. Built using distinctive red stone of nearby Salihundam, the temple showcases elements of traditional Kalinga architecture blended with the regional Andhra craftsmanship. A tall Dvajastambam welcomes devotees, while a spacious pillared Mukhamandapam leads towards the sanctum housing the sacred Shivalingam. One of the most striking sights inside the temple is the massive monolithic Nandi seated majestically before the sanctum as if he has been standing guard for centuries. Adding to the beauty of the temple is its location beside the gentle flow of Nagavali river. The peaceful surroundings, the sound of temple bells and the cool river breeze create an atmosphere that feels untouched by time. At the first glance, it may seem like just another ancient Shiva temple. But to know how this temple is deeply connected to the origin story of Arasvalli itself, we must travel back, way back in time. So here starts the Stalapuranam of Arsavalli. According to Padma Purana, Kashyapa Maharshi installed Surya Bhagwan in the current day Arsavalli for the welfare of mankind. Surya Bhagwan here is revered as belonging to Kashyapa Gotra and he is worshipped as Graharaja, the king among the planetary deities. Over the time, however, the idol disappeared from public worship and remained buried beneath the earth for centuries. That takes us to the end of Dwapara Yuga. During his pilgrimage across South India, Lord Balarama arrived in this region. The local people expressed their difficulty in travelling all the way to the Ganga for holy baths and spoke of water scarcity they faced. Moved by their plight, Balarama struck the earth with his plough after praying to Lord Mahavishnu. A stream of water emerged from the spot and began flowing through the land. This sacred river came to be known as Nagavali, born from Nagali or plough. But where there is a Teerdham, there must also be a sacred Kshetram. Lord Balarama invited the Devas and consecrated Lord Shiva here as Sri Umarudra Koteshwara Swami. All the gods attended except one, Lord Indra. When he attempted to enter later in the night, Nandishvara stopped him, explaining that Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati were in solitude. Not one to take rejection lightly, Indra raised his Vajrayudha. Nandishvara responded by hurling him away with mighty horns, leaving the king of the Devas bruised and injured. As Indra lamented his condition, Surya Bhagwan manifested before him and advised him to unearth the divine idol buried nearby, consecrate it and perform Abhishekam for healing. Using his Vajrayudha, Indra searched the area and discovered a radiant idol of Surya Narayana. He consecrated the deity, dug a sacred pond known as Indra Pushkarni, performed Abhishekam and worship, and went back to his abode rejuvenated. From then on, devotees flocked to the shrine seeking relief from suffering and blessings of Surya Bhagwan. As the ages passed and Kali Yuga progressed, the idol once again became hidden from the public view. Centuries later, two devoted worshippers of sun god, Vishnu Sharma and Bhanu Sharma of the present-day Srimukhalingam, discovered ancient palm leaf manuscripts during their daily Sandhya Vandanam. As they searched for the mysterious deity mentioned in those texts, Surya Bhagwan appeared in their dreams and revealed the idol's location. They unearthed the deity and sought the help of King Devendra Varma of Eastern Ganga dynasty, who built a grand temple and re-established worship. You see something interesting? The first time idol was discovered, it was Devendra, Lord Indra, who brought it to light. The second time, it was another Devendra, King Devendra Varma, who restored it to the world. What a coincidence, right? The temple flourished for centuries until invasions in 16th century threatened its existence. In the 16th century, a grave threat emerged when Sher Muhammad Khan advanced towards Arsavalli with the intention of destroying the temple. Among those who witnessed this was the temple priest Sitarama Shastri. He knew he could not stop an invading force, yet he could not bring himself to watch the ancient Surya idol, an idol protected through the ages, fall into the hands of those who sought its destruction. Choosing devotion over his own life, Sitarama Shastri carried the beloved deity to the nearby well and leapt in along with the idol. The temple was eventually destroyed. Yet the story did not end there. In the 18th century, Surya Bhagwan is believed to have appeared in the dreams of Elamanchi Pullaji Pantulu and directed him to recover the idol once again. The deity was rediscovered, reconsecrated, and worship resumed. And so, through burial, destruction, rediscovery, and restoration, Arsavalli endured, continuing to shine as one of India's most sacred centers of Surya worship. As we entered the premises of Surya Narayana Murthy temple in Arsavalli, one thing became immediately clear. It is not merely a place of worship. It is a masterpiece of devotion, architecture, and astronomical precision. The present temple traces its origins to King Devendra Varma of Eastern Ganga dynasty and follows the classic Rekha Deola style of Kalinga architecture, the same architectural tradition that gave rise to iconic temples such as Jagannath Puri and Konark. It takes an architectural skills of Vishwakarma Brahmins or Maharanas of Orissa. The temple complex is built in the Panchayatana tradition. At the center stands Surya Narayana Swami surrounded by shrines dedicated to Ambika, Vishnu, Ganesha and Maheshwara, beautifully reflecting the timeless belief that there is no difference between Shiva and Keshava. The curving shikhara, intricate stonework, symmetrical layout and ancient geometry create an atmosphere that feels both majestic and deeply sacred. Every structure seems intentionally placed as though the entire temple was designed with cosmic blueprint. And perhaps it was, because the most astonishing feature of this temple is not what stands before our eyes, but what happens above our heads. Twice every year, during March and October, the rising sun performs a ritual of its own. In the early hours of the morning, sunlight enters the temple and passes through not one, not two, but all the 5 entrance gateways before finally reaching the Sanctum Sanctorum and touching the feet of Surya Narayana Swami. Think about that for a moment. No lasers, no computers, no modern surveying equipment. Yet centuries ago, the temple was aligned with such extraordinary precision that the sun's rays still find their way to the deity exactly as intended. For devotees, it is a divine blessing. For architects, it's a marvel. And for the rest of us, it is a humbling reminder that our ancestors understood the movements of the cosmos far better than we often give them credit for. Still, the greatest treasure of Arsavalli is not its architecture. It is the deity himself. The presiding idol of Surya Narayana Swami is a magnificent 5.5 foot self-manifested deity carved from Aruna Ganeshila. For most of the year, however, devotees never get to see the complete form of the Lord. Layers of silk garments, dazzling jewelry, and the flower garlands adorn the deity throughout the daily rituals. Only during the sacred occasion of Radha Saptami is the Nijarupa Darshan granted, allowing devotees to behold the Lord in his original form. It is one of the reasons why thousands flock to Arsavalli on that day. Even then, the dimly lit sanctum makes it difficult to fully appreciate the intricate details of the sculpture. Fortunately, the renowned artist Vaddapati Papaya once sat near the sanctum and painstakingly painted the deity in the light of cow ghee lamp, preserving details that many devotees would otherwise never notice. Starting from the bottom, we see the 7 horses of Surya's celestial chariot, symbolizing the 7 days of the week and 7 colors of visible light. Guiding them is Aruna, the divine charioteer depicted in the traditional form described in the scriptures. Above them stand Usha, Chaya and Padmini, the divine consorts associated with Surya Bhagwan. Flanking the Lord are Pingala and Mathara, the celestial attendants and guardians. Near the upper portion can be seen the Surya Kathari, the signature sword of Surya god, and along with the Lord's majestic hands bestowing protection and grace. Crowning the entire composition are sages and celestial beings standing beneath a royal canopy, offering seva and fanning the Lord in eternal reverence. This is not merely an idol, it is an entire cosmic court carved into stone and frozen in the times for centuries. Now, before leaving, there are a few things that need special attention in the temple. Firstly, look for the sculpture of Indra seated on Airavata. It serves as a subtle reminder of the temple's fascinating Sthala Purana and Lord Indra's enduring connection with Arsavalli. Next is the sacred Indra Pushkarni. According to the tradition, the holy tank was excavated by Indra himself after discovering the deity. Even today, many devotees take a holy dip here before seeking the Lord's blessings. Another important stop is the Surya Namaskara Mandapam. Here, devotees perform Surya Namaskaras while priests recite the powerful Mahasaura and Aruna mantras, ancient Vedic hymns filled with sacred Bijaksharas. For centuries, these mantras have been associated with prayers for health, vitality, protection, and inner strength. In fact, Arsavalli has long been revered as a center of healing. People suffering from chronic ailments, especially iron skin disorders, continue to visit with faith in the blessings of Surya Bhagwan. The saying, Arogyam Bhaskara Dichet, seek health from the sun, finds living expression here. And if there is one day when Arsavalli transforms into a sea of devotion, it is Radha Saptami. It is the grandest festival celebrated here, drawing thousands of devotees from across the country to honor Surya Narayana Murthy. Planning a visit to Arsavalli is surprisingly easy, as the temple is well connected by road, rail and air. If you are travelling by train, the nearest railway station is Srikakulam Road, popularly known as Amadavalsa Railway Station, located about 13 kilometers from the temple. Regular buses, autos and taxis are available from the station to Srikakulam town and Arsavalli. If you are coming by air, the nearest airport is Visakhapatnam Airport, situated roughly 106 kilometers away. Frequent bus and taxi services connect Visakhapatnam to Srikakulam, making it a convenient option for outstation travellers. For those travelling by road, Srikakulam enjoys excellent connectivity through NH16. Regular APS RTC and private buses operate from major cities such as Visakhapatnam, Vijayawada, Hyderabad, Chennai and Bengaluru. The temple is located just 1 kilometer east of Srikakulam town and can be easily reached by local transport. As for darshan timings, the temple generally remains open from 5 am to 8 pm. Morning darshan is available from 5 am to 12 pm, while evening darshan is from 4 pm to 8 pm. Timings may vary slightly on festival days, especially during major celebrations like Radha Saptami. Now that we had explored the history, legends, architecture and glory of Arsavalli, it was time for us to head back home, slightly tired, thoroughly blessed and carrying enough stories to keep our friends trapped in conversation for the next few days. From ancient legends and miraculous rediscoveries to architectural brilliance and blessings of Sun God, Arsavalli turned out to be far more than just a temple visit. We hope Sri Surya Narayana Swami blesses you with good health, happiness and enough energy to wake up before sunrise, at least occasionally. If you enjoyed travelling with us and would like to explore more fascinating places across Bharat, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Bodha Hoots. Until the next adventure, tally ho!